Ambition is the path to success. Persistence is the vehicle you arrive in. Good evening to one and all present here. Akshay and I take immense pleasure in welcoming you all on behalf of the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Vadapalani campus, for a 2-week ETEL program sponsored by Faculty Development Program on Internet of Things in association with Nokia Solutions and Network Limited and IET Chennai Local Network.
IoT is a wide and rapidly developing area with expected strong and growing implications for the industry. IoT applications are solutions to improve industrial manufacturing processes, enable new and efficient ways to operate production plants, create new service or supervision for industrial installations, offer an optimized infrastructure, and improve human safety in industrial areas. Our department provides an active research-based curriculum to provide the fundamental and technical education. With this note, I request the panel team to light the eco development. Thank you all. I now feel delighted to welcome Dr. A. Shirley Edward, Head of Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Akshay. Respected Chief Guest, our Dean Sir, Vice Principal Ma'am, HODs, and faculty members. Very good evening to one and all who had joined this FDP in this Zoom meeting. We have joined for the inauguration of a 2 weeks ETEL sponsored FDP on Internet of Things from 12th September today to 23rd September. So this FDP is also in association with Nokia Solutions and Networks and also IET CLM. So now, first of all, I wanted to extend my sincere thanks to the ETEL Academy for creating such an opportunity for the faculty to organize such FDPs and also to attend the same. I hope it is of great use to the teaching fraternity. Regarding the thrust area, that is IoT, Internet of Things, it has evolved due to the convergence of multiple technologies like computing, sensors, and increasingly powerful embedded systems. This IoT merges the traditional fields like wireless sensor networks, control systems, and automation. Actually, the aim of this FDP is to cover the subject knowledge in IoT and also to give practical exposure to the participants through the lab sessions and also help the participants to find research problems in this field. So now, to inaugurate this FDP, we have amidst us Mr. Ramakrishna Patra, who is a lead hardware services delivery Nokia Solutions and Networks Limited, Noida. Prior to this assignment, Sir was heading the manufacturing solutions and IoT clusters in Industry 4.0 enabled Nokia Chennai factory. On behalf of our institution, I warmly welcome you, sir, to inaugurate this FDP. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and also joining here for this FDP.
Thank you.
So now I would also like to warmly welcome our beloved Dean Sir, who is always a pillar of support in all our department activities. Welcome, sir. So for this inauguration, I warmly welcome our Vice Principal Ma'am, who is a constant source of guidance for us in all our activities. Welcome, ma'am. Last but not the least, I would like to welcome all our faculty members and participants to this FDP. So to say a glimpse about this FDP, this is a hybrid FDP on IoT. So first 6 days from 12th to 17th September, it will be organized in the online mode from 7 to 9:30 p.m. And then the next 5 days It is from 19th to 23rd. It will be in the offline mode from 9 to 5 p.m. in our Vadapalani campus. And apart from this core concepts about IoT and the lab sessions in IoT, the FDP also has an industrial visit to Nokia Solutions and Networks, Chennai factory. So then the FDP also has a mandatory sessions like a lecture on National Education Policy 2020 implementation, teaching, learning, psychology, and life skills such as time and stress management. I hope this FDP will be beneficial to the participants and also pave the way to enrich their research ideas. So the participants, if you have any doubts, you can contact me or you can contact our co-coordinator, Mr. Prasanna Bharati, to clarify the same. I hope this FDP is going to be very useful and interesting for all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your warm welcome, ma'am. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I now feel honored in welcoming our Vice Principal, Academics and Placements to deliver the special address. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Akshay. And once again, let me join the team in welcoming our chief guest of the day, who is actually going to inaugurate and deliver the inaugural address too. Welcome, sir, Ramakrishna Patra, sir. There's been again a constant source of support from Nokia Solutions, and thank you very much, sir. And such a kind of training and learning from the AICTE is always required for the faculty fraternity. And this particular topic on the FDP on the Internet of Things is going to happen both in the online mode as well as in the offline mode. And it is a first of its kind that it's going to be offered in a hybrid mode for such a 2-week duration for about 15 days or so. And as Shirley ma'am has pointed out, this will also be having some hands-on session and practical sessions with which the faculties, I am very sure that they will be getting benefited. And so to say about the topic, now we see that in electronics, right from the beginning, there has been so many revolutions which have happened. And earlier, some long years before, and the today's generation may not be even aware of, we had this vacuum tube technology, which was being taken up by the semiconductors, and then on the VLSI technology. And then now that the revolution is going towards this particular topic, IoT, which has been expanded as Internet of Things. And there are many things which have been attached to this. We find that certain cases, it is also been called as Internet of Everything. IoT also it has been called as. And this is actually the revolution which is actually happening, connecting all the fields of engineering, should I say, like be it is mechanical engineering, or when you take up this mechatronics or automobile or anything for that matter, this is actually a revolutionary field with which, and day on day, it is also growing in its strength. And the researchers are also happening in the field of IoT. So as we just take up some statistics, we find that the potential economic impact which will be created by this IoT will be to the tune of, in dollars, as I mentioned, it would be around $6.2 trillion by the year 2025. So such will be the magnificent growth of this Internet of Things. And also about 75% of the companies from across the industries will be exploring this IoT. And as we would like to say a few words about the IoT, we know that it is actually governed by 4 main things. As Madam also pointed out, it is about sense, analyze, connect, and exchange. These are the 4 major things which have been done by IoT. While we mean about the sensing, they sense the environment and they actually try to collect the data. And then they analyze. The next thing which is being majorly done by IoT is the analyze the data. and then perform computation with a suitable software. And then it try to connect to the other devices and then exchange the data. And thereby it is actually trying to establish a whole lot of a communication now. And this connectivity amongst the billions of devices is actually creating such a revolutions in all our industry-based operations, and because of which this also results in increased productivity and increased efficiency. So with these few words, I would feel that the people who are actually participating, all the faculties will get benefited out of the lectures which they will be attending to, and also out of the hands-on session which will be happening in the physical mode. Once again, let me welcome the chief guest of the day, Dr. Ramakrishna Patra, and our dean to this FDP by AICTE. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your source of encouragement. I now request Dr. C.V. Jaikumar, Dean, CET SRM IST Vadapalani campus, to deliver the felicitation address. We welcome you, sir.
Good evening to all.
Good evening, sir.
Welcoming our chief guest, Mr. Ramakrishna Patra. So hearty welcome to you, sir. And in fact, I need to place on record the support extended by Nokia to our campus in whatever activities we undertake as far as the electronics domain is concerned. My sincere thanks to you, sir. And I also would like to congratulate the team of electronics and communication of our campus for thoughtfully organizing the Atal FDP. And with the pride and humility, I can say that the campus is one of the few institutions or the campuses which has been selected by AICTE to offer the Atal FDP. So hearty congratulations to Dr. Shirley and the team. They deserve a very big appreciation. And coming to the topic, the Internet of Things. So this becomes a buzzword of late, the Internet of Things. You can't imagine anything without the IoT rather embedded into our systems. Gone are the days, Dr. Gomati was touching upon the tube and then transistors and the changes. I don't know how many of the participants would have heard about the magic eye in a big radio, which takes about at least 2-3 minutes to get started and then to hear the either the news or the songs, whatsoever it is. Now then, the technological growth is so tremendous that in no time you can get connected to people wherever they are, and you can get things done whatever you want to do. So in the day-to-day life, nothing moves without the help of the computers or the electronic devices. Okay, so for example, people have been made a hue and cry to save energy, and they have been telling that you need to switch off the fans and the lamps or the lights whenever you leave the room. But it was hardly heard with many people. Now the technology has changed that the moment it is sensed that nobody is there in a room, the lights get automatically switched off. Same way the lights get switched on when it senses people coming into them. So this very silly, but this is a typical example we can think of. And there are so many applications in all the domains. It may not be always in engineering and technology. You name households, you name agricultural domain. Everywhere the Internet of Things is playing a vital role. And I'm sure that at the end of these 2 weeks FDP program, the participants will get benefited because of the sessions by various speakers. I've also gone through the list of speakers, and I'm sure that the participants will reap the benefits of having attended these program. Of course, one difficulty what you might face or you might feel is that the timings. For 7 to 9:30 in the evening, of course, it's a prime time. And I would also say as a teacher, if you want to learn something, because this is a prime time or the better time without any disturbance, you can relax yourself. Otherwise, when it is not forced, we may not spare our time to learning something new. We can call it as I can rather term it as a blessing in disguise. I'm sure that the participants will have an edge over the other people who could not attend to the program. And I wish the program all the very best and all success. And probably by Monday, when we all come for the physical mode, let's have a one-on-one interaction more in depth. So now let me hand over the session to the speaker, and let me also listen and learn something in the domain which was not mine as well. But still, I think I'll be able to learn something fresh, something new. Once again, my hearty congratulations to the department and all the very best for all the participants. Have a happy learning. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your words of motivation. Thank you all. I'm elated to welcome our chief guest for the day, Mr. Ramakrishna Patra, lead HWS Delivery India, Nokia. He's currently leading the Hardware Service India operations at Nokia. He is a telecom professional, having experience spanning over 28 years. He completed his bachelor's degree in electronics and telecommunication from University of Calcutta in the year 1994 and joined the Tata Telecom in the year 1994 for development of 600 megahertz microwave radio. He has a vast experience of working in multinationals like Siemens and Nokia Siemens, handling all communication technologies, that is microwave, optics, radio access, and leading all telecom operators in India and abroad. His passion has been to learn all emerging technologies and strive for innovation. He is an active member for the global transformation initiatives by Nokia for Industry 4.0. With this note, I would like to welcome you, sir.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Good evening. Good evening to all.
Good evening, sir.
So, first of all, respected Dean sir, Gomuti ma'am, Principal ma'am, Edward ma'am, and all faculty members. So, to be very honest, before I go to my formal speech, right, in a personal note, it is really a great privilege and honor for me to be part of this event and having the opportunity to inaugurate this great event. Now, I think almost 7 to 8 years I was in Chennai. This year itself only I just shifted to Gurgaon this February only. And last 5 years when I was working in Chennai factory, I think I was working very closely at SRM. So all the SRM units are very well known to me. Okay, so you can tell that my heart is still in Chennai. In fact, I was visiting a couple of days back again in Chennai, and I need to go back up and down to Chennai daily very frequently. Right? So once again, thank you so much. This topic is very core to my heart. I used to go to many universities, give lectures, get connected to students, right? So it gives me a very special passion. This is my passion. So thank you once again to everyone. And special thanks to management of SRM, Bhada Palani, then all your IT members who are involved in this, and of course I could see some of my colleagues from Chennai factory. Ogni Paramesh is also there in the call, so special thanks to them. I'm pretty sure they are continuing the same sort of support towards university and industry connect what I was dreaming once upon a time. Okay, so thank you so much. Now coming to the topic, I can tell you time cannot be more interesting than this, particularly in the world of technology. Just the toughest period of humankind, we are coming out of that COVID, all of us know. But last 5-6 months, when I see what is going on, at least I will be giving you in the context of Indian telecom, what is going on at this point. Nothing can be better than this, okay? Now, this is 75th year of independence, right? We are still in the process of, independence celebration. But at the same time, the telecom world, tech world, IT world, whatever you would like to call it, is actually going through a great revolution, and it has already kickstarted. Now, I will be taking help of one slide which I was just using yesterday for a different purpose. The 5G fever is coming everywhere. Now, this 5G, what I'll be showing one slide now, has a strong relation with the topic of interest today, this IoT, right? In IoT, Madam was talking, Gamuti ma'am, you have sensors, then you have connectivity, then it will go to cloud, then you have analysis. But until and unless you have the connectivity everywhere to connect everything, IoT is all about connecting everything. To be honest, in the technology world, you are not having any robust technical platform right now. As 5G has now come in the industry and India is also going to kick off this whole 5G deployment, I'm pretty sure that there is going to be a great revolution in the domain of IoT in India, and all of us are going to play a very important role. Just excuse me, I'll be taking help of one slide. I think you all know this was very public. Can you give me this sharing option? I think I need a permission. Can anybody enable me? Only one slide I'll be showing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think you can share, sir.
Yeah. Can you see my screen or not yet?
No, sir, not yet.
Dinesh, sharing is given. Yeah, it's coming.
Yes, sir.
Can you see this
Yes.
screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You all know this thing. I'm not going to show anything honestly new. These are all available in the public domain, but I would like to maybe build on that what is the ecosystem in India now? You all know we call data like oil was the energy, then data is the energy, right? Fuel, right? Sorry, fuel is the money. Now in connectivity, all spectrum bandwidth is the fuel, right? Now just now we concluded 2nd of August, no, the world ever biggest auction for the spectrum. We should be proud. We all are generally feel cynical about India no app working. We are slow, but you all should feel happy that we have never seen this type of fight and war to get the spectrum for the 5G. We never expected. I think government of India was also not expecting, right? You see, there is 4 bidders were there. Reliance Jio, they have spent 88,000 crore of money, purchased 24.7 gigahertz spectrum. Airtel was the second highest. Vodafone was after that, and Adani is another rich group. They have also purchased some spectrum. Now, this money is not important, but what I'm trying to highlight is that the intent or intention of the operator who are trying to come to this field. It means when somebody is spending so much of money in one shot, okay, even when the 5G is not kicked off, it means they're very serious player, contender. They are just not coming and going, okay. Now, if you see the spectrum, if you see in the 5G, there are a lot of spectrums are there. Those who are from the radio communication, we have many spectrum. We have gigahertz, megahertz. Now, 700 megahertz radio, 2 times there was bidding, 2 years consecutive years. Nobody has taken. But this time, Reliance has taken 700 megahertz band spectrum for all 22 circle. It means practically all over India. It means, and this band is basically low frequency band. It enables wider coverage. So it is very clear that we have a plan to pan-India coverage everywhere, not only metro cities, nook and corner of the country. We are trying to cover through 5G, right? Now, then in 5G, there are 2 interesting topics. One is the coverage, another is the bandwidth. Those who are from radio background, all of us know, right? If I go to high frequency band, gigahertz, my bandwidth will go up, but at the cost of coverage comes down. We have seen worldwide the mid band generally which operates at 330 megahertz or 3.5 gigahertz. That band is the right balance to take care of coverage as well as the bandwidth, right? If I go for too high frequency bandwidth, my bandwidth will be too good, but the coverage may not be high. So we have seen a very clear interest. The maximum money was spent to cover the whole country through mid band, we call 3.3 gigahertz band. We had also intention from the operator to cover 700 megahertz. You'll also see there is one contender, Adani, and some others have also taken very high frequency band, 26, 25 gigahertz. That will generally come handy in a very enterprise environment like airport, metro station, where a small coverage, but huge people are there, right? Now, with all these things, the supplier of the equipments for this type of 5G network is very limited, honestly. We have very few in the whole world, like Nokia, Ericsson. Chinese companies are out of the race. Then we have Samsung. So it is a public figure, so nothing wrong to hide the business. Nokia and Ericsson, we are making the whole 5G network for both Reliance Jio as well as for Airtel, and this kicked up already. Vodafone, due to their financial crunch, little bit is going slow, but it is also in the bidding process. Now the timeline is before Diwali. I can tell you both Jio and Ericsson is trying to launch this 5G service in big cities like Nokia. We are going to launch in Delhi, where right now I'm working, and also in Chennai. And Ericsson will be launching in Mumbai and Calcutta, right? This is the fact. This has come in public now. So before Diwali, we never thought last year this time that by this Diwali we will be able to even start the 5G network in the country, and it is happening. And some of the things which I can share due to business data, but I can tell you this is a very serious plan to cover the whole country through 5G by 2023. Now, when this type of whole 5G coverage will be happening, it will be a game changer. Today, whatever mobile we are used to, 2G, 3G, LTE, whatever, it just speed data, right? But 5G is just not a speed type of network. It has a lot of other potential to change the whole society and the whole industry. So in India, it is projected that we are expecting at least all India, I'm talking 450 billion economic growth will be coming out of this 5G network and coverage and application in next 10 years. The average speed, what we are right now, 20 GB per user per month, we are expecting will move up to 50 G. The investment in the country, what is going to happen is more than 2.3 to 4 trillion. I can tell you openly that in Chennai factory, I was the head of the engineering. So whatever capex investment we have done globally in last 3 years, this year, in last 6 months or 7 months, we have done 3 times of that. We do believe that, even if I'm not mentioning the absolute figure, and all towards to make this 5G production capability and the network, right? Now, this is the ecosystem we are in. So it means the country is now taking a starting journey for 5G network, which is just not mobile. There is a very serious partners are there. This famous triangle, if you can see at the bottom, there is a big part called massive machine type communication, where the IoT actually comes, right? All the IoT comes. Everything will be connected. Now, one thing where I see a big role for all education institute, faculty members, one thing is missing actually. This 5G is just creating the network. So network in isolation is nothing. You cannot do anything with a network if you don't develop the application on the top of it, right? Now, we are now thinking that the entrepreneurs, the students, the fresh mind should come out with a lot of new applications, sensors, network, which will be based on this 5G, which will be driving the new development in the field of everywhere, factory, agriculture, medical, whatnot, every field. Okay. So that is the power of IoT. So the country and CSPs like us, like original equipment manufacturer like us, are creating the network. Now we really need the brain of Indian students and the teachers to work on the top of this network to build the IoT platform. Now, I'm very happy to tell, like, just let's go back and think of our own payment method, right? We are making the transaction in the bank through cash, then ATM, then debit card, right? Now today, I think you all have seen how the UPI transaction has gone up. I think no country is using Google Pay, Paytm, and etc. like Indiana is using, right? We are the highest users of the Paytm. Now, Paytm is in isolation, or GPay is nothing. It's just an application, right? But this Indian community, Indian, startups, they have taken this application to a different level, right? So really the country is looking for a complete digital conversion with this 5G backdrop. So I will expect that the academic community, where the real brain is, they will be capitalizing, leveraging this network, this momentum, to bring more and more and application network, which will be changing the whole society, right? And I'm sure the momentum, what I see, it will be a great success going forward, and all of us are going to play a role in this transformation. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I wish all of you should enjoy this learning session. Knowledge is very important. Things are changing. What we know yesterday is not valid today. As I can see, a lot of technologies are there: augmented reality, virtual reality. So all of us need to learn, and learning is, both way. We need to learn from industry, and industry should learn from the academicians. Okay, so it's not one-way learning. So we really need to create a solid learning culture in our ecosystem too. Equipment will come, technology will come, network will be deployed, but what will matter is the knowledge. Okay, and that knowledge can be developed through this mutual collaboration, this type of program. So I sincerely thanks everyone and management of SRMT who are really conducting this workshop or the training session. Okay, and wish all of you a great success, great learning session going ahead. Thank you. And I'm pretty sure you all will be visiting Chennai factory, and as you'll be visiting, you'll see the 5G production is happening right now. They don't have any time. They are working on war footing basis, literally 24/7, because to deliver so many sites across country in such a short frame of time. Okay, so with this I'd like to close here, and thank you all once again. Let us be part of this 5G IoT or this transformation journey. Thank you.
Thank you very
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Your words were highly thought-provoking. Participants, if you have any questions, you can unmute and pose them to the chief guest.
Why 5G takes much time to reach India when compared to other country?
No. This is not correct. This is not correct. If we see the development of actually 2G, 3G, 4G, we are always lagging 10, 12 years compared to the other countries, right? Even if the experimental lot of pilots, trials are ongoing, but to be very honest, we are not lagging behind that much, honestly, even compared to other countries in 5G. Maybe 2-3 years, and nobody is deploying such a huge scale in any country. Take it from me. So yes, we are late little bit, but not that late. What we have seen at the time of LT 4G or 3G. So if somebody is creating an idea that we are too late on 5G, not at all, not at all. Okay. We are manufacturing in this country. And this is one interesting thing, right? Both Ericsson is also making in Pune, Jabil. Nokia is also making. So we are making in India, deploying in India. So there's a great thing happening, right? But what is, again, I'm repeating, what industry is looking like more use case, more application? How can we add value to other things? Particularly, lot of digitalization has happened in e-commerce area, banking, right? They are already digitally enabled, right? Banking service, e-commerce, they are all the digital world. Now, but if you see any country, not in India too, and even globally, the economy comes from physical world. Actually, 70% of the GDP we call, or the economy, is actually created by factories, port, half, right? Agriculture, not really by banks or e-commerce. But investment or the development has happened in that area. So now there is a turn to connect this 70% physical world to this digital world, and where both IoT will come in the picture. IoT is more about, because you need to send something, right? So IoT is a great thing to really play in this physical world, right? Not one computer to another. So
So another one question.
Yes.
For IoT applications, is it a must? 5G is a must or not?
No, not all, not at all. 5G is a must. Definitely 5G is not a must, but I can't say if 5G will replace everything, but there will be a coexistence of many things. But you know, when you are trying to create a connectivity globally, the scale, okay, the coverage, there we see that 5G will be dominating going forward, right? Now we are having very piecemeal connectivity, right? Something Bluetooth, something Zigbee, something LTE, something Wi-Fi, right? Now, since there is going to be pan India or pan country some network, right? So this can be tagged all it here. But yes, overnight, not that 5G will replace everything, but it will be a great enabler, at least at the backhaul. Today, you know, in the mobile towers, one tower to another, right? Unfortunately, still, India is such a vast country. Um, Hardly 40% is having fiber backhaul, like connected one tower to another to fiber optics, which is the high bandwidth. Now, when with this IoT, so much of data is coming, then we need a backhaul. Now, radio, all of us know, is the fastest method to connect at the backhaul, right? So the microwave radios are coming with high capacity, which can replace fiber and can ensure quick connectivity from one tower to another, right? Just for the speed of deployment also, right? So uh, they are called 5G compatible radios actually. So you will see a great change in the network architecture in the telecom. And one thing I missed it. I think there's a separate domain, but with this 5G and IoT, all of us know cyber security will play an important role, right? As everything is getting connected, all of us know that, but slowly we will be facing more and more challenges. So that is a different domain. So there is a lot of focus happening around robust cyber security implementation, either in the network itself, product itself, solution itself, right? So all of us need to play our role to this security topic. Like when we are developing a product or planning a network 5G, we are ensuring security is done. But that is not enough. Somebody who is developing an IoT device, he need to ensure he's inbuilt creating that inbuilt security features there. So at every layer, we need to bring the security, right? So it's a journey. It cannot happen in one overnight. But I think we need to great focus to ensure security too, cyber security, right?
So another one question. How will 5G latency be lower? What is the difference between 4G and 5G connectivity? This is a basic question, I think.
Okay, like 4G, 5G is much faster, almost 10 times speed. No, see, in any communication, there are two topics, right? One is the speed, another is the latency, right? Now, 5G, the connectivity speed can be 1 gigabyte, right? Now, if you see today LTE connection, how much connection you get? 15 Mbps, 20 Mbps, you cannot go, and the wireless way, right? Through fiber, you can always get higher speed, but over wireless, you cannot get that type of speed, right? Now, for the first thing, LTE and 5G is the speed, which is almost potentially it can give 100 times more speed. Then the latency, right? Latency in the practically we get 20-25 millisecond if on ground reality. But here it will come down to even millisecond level. Now latency is important, which I have spoken on many places, particularly in this triangle. If you see, if you are trying to deploy a communication platform where I need to control the robot or machines or robotic surgery, where the response from transmitter to receiver has to be very fast. That is basically latency, right? I cannot afford to lose even 1 second connectivity for when a robot is running or I'm in the process of a surgery. Now this 5G technology through massive MIMO technology and some other protocols are there provides that low latency, right? Which is not there in LTE. LTE was more of a bandwidth. So 5G is better in the latency. So this is the difference. I told very simplistic, like very simple way. It is not that simple. We have a lot of other architecture topics, but
Good evening, Patra sir.
yes, sir.
This is Prasanna.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You are also a great architect of this whole solution, right? Of this event. Thank you so much, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I have a small question.
Yes.
The migration from 3G to 4G in India, it took place maybe in a matter of 2 to 3 years, I guess.
Yes.
But the migration from 4G to 5G, I think 4G came in 2010, I guess. So it's taking almost like 10, 12 years. What do you
3G,
see?
3G was not that successful technology actually, right? 3G actually just we bypassed basically. It was not that great. So that's why, okay. 5G, I think within next 4 years, right? 4 years, I expect will be full-fledged running in the country. But 4G will be also there. 5G, there are two architectures. One architecture, one of the operator are adopting, we call it non-standalone architecture. It means like Airtel is doing. They will have both LT and 5G together, so radio. And the core will be at the back end. Okay. So it is not going to be a completely standalone 5G network. It will work along with the 4G network. Whereas Reliance is moving for complete standalone independent 5G network. Okay. So some operators will move from 4G plus 5G together. Some operator will provide only 5G and 4G to independent network. But overall, the momentum, what I see in the market, I think it will be very fast. All people are, because there's huge money they have invested. Everybody will try to get a return of investment, so they will move fast. 4 years maximum to go to the peak. By 23, all cities will be covered, at least urban areas. This I tell as I see the number of equipments we need to deliver, the volume forecast what we have for delivery to customers, so that we can estimate.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, another one question.
Somebody.
What are the limitations of 5G?
5G limitation. Yes, 5G, there are 1-2 limitations will be there. The first limitation is, the 5G backhauling is required. I can create a radio network, but to create the traffic of 5G, we need the solid fiber optic backbone. Okay, so if you want in the wireless domain 5G very robust, then it should have a very strong backhaul at the fiber optics too. So that infrastructure need to build. Okay, that is number one. Second point, 5G equipments are very heavy actually, because I can tell you, like we call it 32T 32R, 64T 62R. It means as if 64 antenna are combined in the same product. Okay, so it's a massive MIMO technology, 60 to ensure the huge bandwidth. So it means the equipments will be heavy. So the site infrastructure has to be made accordingly. Okay, and in 5G again, it is not a 5G limitation, but we need to be more careful when we will be trying to connect the devices. The special focus on security part, right? Because it will be connecting everything. So you need to bring the security layer above that. That is the point.
Sir, one
Yes,
more
yes.
question, last question.
Oh, sure, sure.
This 5G implementation will cause harm to the environment.
No, I know there is a lot of rumors, lot of articles was floating here and there. There is no solid scientific proven, result anywhere that the 5G is really going to harm as such. All are within the limited spec. these products are exhaustively tested as per all emission protocols, right? So when companies are launching this product, right, you tell me like 4G, what has happened? Nothing has happened. Okay, so I don't think this is more of a myth that 5G is a problem. It is more of a fear of unknown. We have tested, a lot of testings have done exhaustively years after year to ensure if there is a um, impact on human body or anything. Okay, but anyway, there is a common thing. If you stand in front of a 5G equipment for 10 hours, right, that will happen. That's normal. Like normal mobile phone, if you keep it. Oh, another ecosystem is coming up, right? I'm talking of 5G, but you see the ecosystem of the 5G phone is required, right? For the normal telephony over 5G, the phone has to come. So be careful before purchasing any phone at 5G. Everybody will claim it is a 5G phone. Be careful. Huh? Don't purchase all phones as 5G phone. So that is another industry and war is ongoing. Who will be bringing the 5G phone first in the network?
That might
It
be
is
the
coming all.
biggest threat.
Which one?
The buying the 5G phone mobile set might be the biggest threat rather. Am I not audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, threat, I means business point of view or economy point of view. Yes, the existing phone sets is not able to support the 5G band and the protocols. So consumer point of view, we are dependent on new handsets to be there. It is not a threat, like it's another vertical, right? We need more and more equipments, otherwise it won't be popular. You will see soon a lot of schemes will be launched by the operators.
Dinesh?
Over to Akshay if there are no further questions.
Akshay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for patiently answering all the questions.
Thank you.
I now request our faculty coordinator, Mrs. P. Bhuvaneshwari, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Akshay. A pleasant evening to all. It's a proud moment for me to propose the vote of thanks on this prestigious occasion of the ATL, the AICT Training and Learning Academy sponsored faculty development program on Internet of Things. This event is conducted in association with Nokia Solution and Network Limited and IIT Chennai local network. An event of such a grandeur is made possible only with the blessings of Almighty and the collective team effort from all the faculty members of EC department. To begin with, on behalf of EC department, I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to our respectful and ever supporting Dean Dr. C.V. Jayakumar, sir, for his professional guidance and support in all the events organized by us. Also, I would like to thank our elegant, wise, and graceful VP Academics and Placement, Dr. C. Gomati ma'am, who, by her vast experience and wisdom, always renders us unconditional support. Leaders always lead from front in any task to be accomplished by the team. We are blessed to be led by a dynamic HOD, Dr. A. Shirley Edward. I wholeheartedly thank her for being a pillar of strength, support, and guidance to us. A very hearty thanks to the chief guest of today's event, Mr. Ramakrishna Patra, lead HWS Delivery, Nokia Solution, and Network Limited for inaugurating the FTP and delivering a speech on the recent technology trends in the niche areas. A special thanks to the coordinator of our FTP on IoT, Mr. Prasanna Bharati, for his tireless effort, commitment, and meticulous planning to make this event a reality. At this juncture, I register my sincere thanks and gratitude for the management of SRM IST family for the continuous support. I thank Our technical partners, Nokia Solution and Networks Limited and IIT Chennai local network for their support and guidance. Also, I thank the faculty members of PC department, supporting faculty and the student for their active participation and involvement to make this event a grand success. We thought, if minds can interact, why can't missions? Sparkle the development of the technology, the Internet of Things. I hope this 2 weeks of knowledge sharing and interaction by expertise with us will kindle new questions within us and sprout new ideas, will pave way to the development of new technology. Happy learning to all. Have a great, enjoyable time ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Bona. Think over to Akshay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your time. Ramakrishna, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much for sparing your time with us.
No, thank you.
It was indeed a very good session. For all, participants got very good knowledge about this 5G, the current trend in 5G, and what is happening around in India, especially.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks again, sir, for yet another time we could hear from you all the advancements which are happening in this particular field. And thank you for your constant support to SR Madapani, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes. Catch hold of Parmesh and Ogni, who are now based in Chennai. Okay, they will.
Yes,
I'm
sir,
sure
yes,
will continue to
Sure,
provide
sir.
support. Okay,
yes,
thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on,
Thank you.
I feel honored in welcoming the speaker for the day, Dr. M.A. Bhagyaveni, ma'am, Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, College of Engineering, Gindi, Anna University.
To welcome Professor Bhagyaveni, ma'am, for this session, first session on introduction to IoT. Kirtana, I think you can continue.
Yes, ma'am. Our speaker for the day, Dr. M.A. Bhagyaveni, ma'am, has various areas of expertise such as in wireless communication, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cognitive radio. She is a life member of ISTE, and she has published over 100 research papers, released over 12 books, and she holds 3 patents. She has guided over 14 PhD scholars and has completed over 5 e-outreach programs. With this note, I feel honored in welcoming her to address the gathering.
Very good evening to one and all. Happy to witness so many people off of working hours, eagerly waiting to learn. I wish all the best for all the participants. And I thank the organizers, Ms. Shirley Edward ma'am, Dr. C. Gomati ma'am, and others for giving me this opportunity to address the audience here. Now we are learning what is IoT, Internet of Things, right? This has started nearly 5 years before. The hype of this is because of it is converting the life of every human being who's witnessing the change in their way of life because of Internet of Things, right? So what is IoT? So everybody would have given this definition. Whoever is going to take up this class or session in this IoT, they will just say that Internet of Things comprises of things that have unique identities and are connected to the internet, right? So the focus on IoT is in the configuration, control, and networking via the Internet of Devices, which are also called as Internet of Things that are traditionally not associated with internet. For example, we usually connect computers, laptops, etc. to the internet, and human beings sit at the other end, start communicate through those devices. So that's the general internet we talk about. But in IoT, what is happening is they are not traditional things that are associated. Maybe things like a pump, a car engine, a utility meter, a safety pin, or etc. So all these things are now getting connected to internet. So that's the traditional change which we are going to witness or witnessing nowadays. So IoT is a new revolution in the capabilities of endpoints that are connected to the internet. The scope of IoT is not limited just connecting things, like you take up a device and just going to connect. It allows these things to communicate and exchange data. That is, you can control them, you can do some information transfer between these data, and do some actuation of the or control the environment itself out of all these things that are placed in that environment. So processing of these data will provide us various applications towards a common user or towards a common goal, right? So the idea is now we are moving from connecting people, right? So internet appears everywhere in the world. It is the primary connection between the people. Now we are moving from connecting people towards, we are moving to connecting everything in this world. So it's not only Internet of Things, it's also called as Internet of Everything. So you name a thing, we expect that to be connected to the internet. You can see this diagram taken from the Google images, which will say that I'm connecting a bulb here, I'm connecting a plant or a small pot here, your watch is here, right? An iPod is there, person is also there, right? Everything has been getting connected. So in short, we'll be calling it as Internet of Connections, Internet of Everything, right? So how does it has been moving over the various stages of this connectivity? Just see, we started with the pre-internet period. Humans are getting connected to the humans. We had only fixed phone technology, and slowly we moved on to mobile phones, and then we connected data through it by means of transferring SMS, right? Small informations that can be transmitted. So to this small internet, pre-internet, in the internet, we use www and started transmitting emails, informations, entertainment, etc. In Web 2.0, we did e-commerce and we are able to buy things through it, right? So that will be called as Internet of Services. Internet of People is through social media. Now we are very popular using Facebook, Skype, Twitters, YouTubes, etc. Now we talk about Internet of Things, right? We need to identify, we need to track our goods, we need to monitor things, etc. Right? So now we have these having small deviations between what is called M2M, what is called IoT. Here also there are machines. Machines are connected to machines. Here we call that as M2M. In IoT, we call it as Internet of Things. Do they are the same or they are different, right? So that will be the question we need to answer, which will say that internet machine to machine communication will be a point-to-point communication, usually enabled with hardware at the customer's side. Whereas in IoT, the device communicate using IP network, incorporating with various communication protocols. So now you can understand there is a little difference between M2M and IoT, right? So here, these devices, they try to use cellular network or a wired network for communication. In IoT, the data is relayed to a middleware, which is hosted in a cloud. Right. So devices do not necessarily rely on internet connection, whereas in this, all the data transfer is through internet connection only, right? I wish the buttons are to be moved. So we have limited integration options, as devices must have corresponding communication standards for them to talk in M2M communication. Whereas in IoT, there is an unlimited integration options, but requires a solution that can manage all types of communication. So that's the difference between M2M and IoT protocols. So you can see here a human being who's generally going for a jogging in the morning. He is going to carry many sensors, one sensor to monitor his motion, one sensor to monitor his heart, that's your ECG sensor. One to monitor is how fast he is running, whether he is using the gait properly or not, the gait sensors. So all these things, all these sensors are going to get connected through his personal digital assistant to the internet. So if at all something negative happens to the person, or he's going to faint something, and those informations will be conveyed to the hospital or to his important relatives who will be made to know about this, and it will be recorded and stored. So that's the lifestyle is going to change. So you can find internet in everything. So if you just take it up this type of example where we are going to just have vehicles, they are moving from one place to another place. So everything will be tracked, right? Everything will be tracked through the internet. A vehicle is going to have many sensors, like a sensors for entertainment, sensors for detecting who are coming nearby to them, a sensors for communicating with the other nodes, other vehicles that are available around it, sensors to communicate, to see who is coming at the back, or you are not going to hit other persons. Like that, every car now, it's not just a mechanical system, it's completely an electronic system where many parameters are monitored and executed using sensors, and those sensors get connected through internet to the required, the other end clients or the servers, who can know this, what is the position of the car, where he is coming, or he can know after certain distances what is the traffic that is available in the network and which route he has to select. Like that, he can alternately use the sensed data that are available in the net and make his navigation smooth, right? So now it is becoming a complex and heterogeneous resource of networks. So what is expected out of IoT is that we are expecting it to be, right, improved performance. You have to do some creative, innovative works, creative, innovative services. You have to produce new revenues, but still everything should be at a reduced cost. So that's the main potentials of IoT. Everything should be unlocked, but with certain limitations of spending too much is not allowed. So you should be able to create network, do the work with the reduced amount of cost. Right. So that's how unlocking of, going to the next slide, what has happened? So in IoT, we can find a looming of opportunities, that is applications of IoT. When I just look into where I can use my IoT, you name a field, I can see the importance of IoT there. For example, if I name an environmental sensing, right? So we need weather prediction systems. We can use IoT to do species tracking. We can use IoT to check any environmental fire is there. We can use IoT to check any tsunami threat is there. We can use IoT to check the hazardous gases have been released. So like that, in environmental research, there are many applications where IoT will help us. If you just consider like agriculture, it's there is no stop in utilizing IoT, right? So we can use IoT or sensors just over the looking into the health of the plants, looking into the irrigation level of the plants, right? Looking into how much amount of potassium is available, calcium, right? You can add some water if there is not, it's not sufficient for them. You can do soil irrigation, you can do internet tracking, right? So every leaf can be monitored, whether you can do whether pest control for the entire agriculture field, right? So every stage of the plant can be monitored using IoT. So you just take up industries. It's commonly called as Industry 4.0, which is getting revolutionized because of IoT here. The way industry had been operating towards so many years, it's now being changed. Now everything will be controlled based on this machines. Machines will be monitored instead of by human beings. It will be monitored by the sensors. And instead of they being controlled by the human beings, it can be controlled by the actuators. So therefore, the entire new concept of Industry 4.0, it's being revolutionized by Internet of Things, right? So the machine will not stop. See, only human beings are getting fatigue after 6 hours or 8 hours. But we can operate the machine for only 24 hours. Who says the machine should be shut off within some 8 hours, right? Or within some 4 hours, right? So having bought a machine which is having a capability to produce that much amount of the supply chain need not be stopped at all. It can be continuously run, and therefore you can get your harvested output and do the business continuously because of Industry 4.0. So that's the idea of using IoT inside industry, right? So wherever we look into, whether it is a medical, whether it is retail, whether it is consumer, everywhere you can find the use of IoT in present trend. So when you properly look into applications, you can just see your home. You can see what was your home when your grandparents have been living or your parents are using that home. Now, how the home had been changed, right? So previously, the TV would have been switched on only for half an hour and it will be closed, and rest of all will be doing continuous some agriculture work or taking care of their looming work, etc. So such type of work will be going on in a house. But nowadays, there are so many sensors that are available at all the places in your house. So when you're going to climb the stairs, the lights will be turned on. When you go inside the bedroom, the required amount of air conditioning will be made by the air conditioner sensors. The carbon dioxide will be emitted continuously. The gas sensor will be checking whether the gas has been leakaged from the gas or not, gas stoves or not. So like that, look at every place will be controlled by different sensors. So IoT has entered everyone's home, right? It's not just we cannot say that I don't want IoT. Like some people are still saying that I don't want smartphones, right? So it's now we can't think about such lives, right? So whenever we enter, we need some AC to be turned on inside the home. Whenever we go inside the bathroom, we need the hot shower should be turned on, right? We need not go put our hands and turn it on. The system should itself sense what is our need at this instant of time, and that should be made ready for us. Like that, everywhere we can see sensors. If you have a very smart kitchen, if you just say let the dosa be ready, it should be, the machines will be preparing the dosas and having on the plates. So that's the status of field, or that's a status where we expect our kitchen to behave for us. So if we are tired and we expect some juice to be ready, and just saying over the phone, it gets ready at your kitchen and you can pick it up and have it, right? So that's the status. We are moving in a very fast way towards the having a comfortable and leisure life because of smart homes or controlled homes, right? So this will help us. I can also have smoke alarm, we can have theft alarm systems, everything being guarding our house. Previously, they used to guard the house by using dogs. Now, most of the houses, they are not going to use dogs, they are going to have cameras. So based on the cameras, they sense what is happening in and around their house, right? So that's had been change of lifestyle because of IoT. You can also think about a small egg tray, right? So it will just have number of eggs in it, and you can just say if the number of eggs is getting reduced to 2 or 3, it is going to send this information to the to our purchase list, which has been prepared by the system continuously, right? So that's a smart egg tray, right? This will sync with the smartphone and tell how many eggs you are having and how many eggs you have to buy when you're going home back. So like that, you can have a smart egg tray built in. Smart washing machine. So you just, whether it is loaded or not, it can be checked, and you can just, by the press of a button, it can start, and after the wash, it will stop itself, right? So to have a smart washing machine, smart lighting, you just click the color, the light in the house will change. If you click blue color, you will be having blue color lights, red color lights will be turned on, right? So that will be of really fun to have a different colors illuminating your house. Smart AC, this is already I have mentioned, where it's going to just maintain the house temperature. If it just checks whether the blinds have been closed. If the blinds are not closed, most of the energy will be spent because the sun rays may enter through the blinds, and therefore it automatically release the button in such a way that blinds will get closed and the home temperature is being maintained at the required degree Celsius, right? Smart sleep system, which will just monitor whether the person is sleeping smooth or just sleeping smooth nights, or he is not sleeping, he's just awake and he is just turning this side and that side and is not going to have a good sleep or not. If he is not going to have a good sleep, sometimes it may play music for the person to soothify his brain signals, and therefore he can go for a sleep. Like that, smart sleep system has also been designed, which is just checking how the person is moving over his bed, and therefore he'll identify that he's not sleeping properly, and measures will be taken by the system itself to make him sleep right. Smart weather stations. These weather stations will try to control humidity and carbon dioxide levels inside the house, and it just see that the home is healthier or not. Then it's a slow cooker where remotely you can operate this cooker. You can just add the ingredients after going to your work, or when you're going to return home. Just before some 10 minutes, you can just turn on. After the cook is over, it will be switched off by itself, right? So you can operate it from your workplace itself. Smart garage bins. These are becoming very popular, where whenever the garage is full or it is at a threshold level, it is going to send a signal to the garbage clearing tank. It may come truck and it will come and empty the cannon, which is going to go away. So like that, at to what level the garbage is full, you can just program it. And after that threshold is reached, it's going to send an alarm, or it will send a SMS to the truck, the clearing trucks. They can come and do the completely clear away the dust and place the bin once again. So this is a smart garbage cans that are kept at different places, where every time it need not overflow. Whenever it's going to cross a threshold, it can be cleared and maintained clean. Smart gardening, where we are going to use sensors to just see whether the plant is growing properly or not, how many leaves it has left, whether the soil condition is correct. If not, you need to add some more fertilizers into it to get the soil condition properly, right? So these data will be collected over the monitor, and you can just view, or over the cell phone, you can just view sitting at that place. If it need a water, you can just click on one button, the water will be poured. If it needs some minerals, you just click on another button, the minerals will be added to it. So like that, it is be still controlled, and better way of gardening will be done using smart environments, right? We can use IoTs for transportations. So tracking of goods is usually done using IoTs, where you will be using GPS. And you're going to track the vehicles as they are delivering the goods. So from the source to the destination, whether they are reaching at the right place or not. Now this is becoming very simple, that even every school is going to have this app being installed. You can just track off whether the bus has started from the school, and through which route it is coming, at what time it may reach your home place, and therefore you can go there and pick up your kids. So everything has been interconnected between the Google Maps and where the bus is going and where it is going to reach at what place. So even AI is playing a major role in predetermining which path it has to take, etc. So that's how it has been growing. The IoT field is finding application in everywhere. There's a bus tracking system that has been already implemented and it has been utilized by everyday issues. It's come up in newspaper also. It has been implemented at Bangalore. So where we can use this for logistics, we can use for product design, we can use for warehouse, we can use for manufacturing, right? So altogether, what is the architecture behind IoT? So what all playing this complete role as an IoT? First, the low-level things are called as sensors. The low-level things, they are nothing but the sensors, or this had been very popularly been researched for more than 10 years, more than a decade, in terms of wireless sensor networks, where you are going to use sensors as sensor nodes, They will be called as modes, and those modes, they are now being renamed as things, right? They have now been renamed as things because without modes, the thing cannot communicate to the internet. So any sensor will be a transducer. The transducer, once it has been getting connected with the mode, it will become a thing which has the capability of signal conditioning, as well as transmitting and receiving, right? So the communication module will be there, a microcontroller will be there, and the sensor will be there. The sensor will convert the environmental readings to a measurable electrical signals. These measurable electrical signals will be analog to digital converted, A to D converted, stored in a small microcontroller, and the meaning for these signals will be provided by the program that is available in the microcontroller. This is called pre-processing of the signals. After the signals have been pre-processed or meaningful informations have been converted, they can be transmitted to another sensor or to the sync node through a transceiver module that is attached with the microcontroller itself, right? So this is what your lower level devices are. This is what the lower level device, they sense the environment, and sensed information will be communicated to the required end device, right? So that's your low level. Once these have been A to D converted, then digital converted signals have been communicated to the end device. The end device will be having wired or wireless network connection. That is your second phase. It will be having either wired or wireless network connections. So in terms of wireless, you will be having many things: wireless personal area networks, wireless local area networks, wireless metropolitan area networks, and wireless wide area networks. All these networks will be utilized. All these networks will be utilized to convey this information from one place of the world to the other place in the world, right? So there are various types of networks that are available. So they help in forwarding this data from the point of source to the point of destination. So that's how these various networks play a major role in Internet of Things. So this is also in common called as the Internet. In common, it is called as Internet. Then these Internet data will be processed for information purpose. So you have data centers to store it, and from the data centers you can use search engines, or you can do smart decisions. You can add some information security to it, or you can mine the data and get whatever you are going to take out from this information that is available at the data centers. So that type of level is called as information processing. Now, out of all these data, how we are achieving your end results? The end result may be a smart transport, a smart environment monitoring, or a smart grid, or a smart green building, etc. So this is your goals. This is your final goals. This is what you have to achieve. So they are at the application level, right? So this is the overall IoT architecture that is being used for conveying or controlling the information that are being created in the environment to the requirement of the end user, right? So what are all the different types of technologies that are helping these IoT? First will be your hardware, that is called as a device. Second level is your communication technology. Then you have protocols for IoT, a software, and a cloud platform. So when you look into what are these hardwares, the hardwares are nothing but the various boards, right? The various boards. The most popular, everybody would have heard of your Arduino board. This is your Arduino UNO board. So even a very small, simple person, even school children, they try to use this Arduino board to do their small projects, right? So this is very popular thing. So there are other boards also, like Raspberry Pi is there, Intel Galileo is there, B-Eagle boards are there. So they will be having input-output ports where you're going to connect your sensors. So you can see, we can connect your sensors here, and these sensors will be converted to analog to digital converter, and the processor will be available here. And you have a transceiver modules. This is how it has been. This is the point where it is connected to the internet, right? This is the point where it is getting connected to the internet, right? So you can just see this is a very small setup which we are using for temperature sensing. We are using this as a temperature sensor. So this is your LM35. This is a small thermistor whose readings will be based on the temperature. In that, it is going to give some amount of resistance. That resistance value will be read over these pins. So after reading over these pins, those resistance will be converted to digital version, and those digital version of that will be transmitted through the transceiver to the LCD connector, right? So this will display what is the temperature at that place. This will display what is the temperature at that place. This is a small setup where we are using sensors, the microcontroller board, and the output device, right? So this sensed it. Now Arduino doesn't have a transceiver, so if you use Zigbee or some Raspberry Pi boards, it does have a ESP32, which will help the data to be transmitted from one board to the other board, right? So in addition to sensing, we should do some actuation also. So both together will be sensors and actuators together will help us to control the environment correctly. These are various types of sensors that are available in the markets. So you have like you have your temperature sensors, right? Different types of temperature sensors. This is your buzzer. This is a button type sensor. This is your IR receiver. This is your microphone type. This is a reed switch, tap module, heartbeat sensor. Like that, there are many types of sensors that are available in the market. They can be utilized. And then this will talk about how what are the different communication strategies that have been employed that are helping IoT devices to be successful, right? What are all the different communication technologies that are helping them? So we just look into this as for a end-to-end near field communication. You can use RFIDs, NFCs, right? Small antennas to do Bluetooth communication, Zigbee communication, IEEE 15.4 communication, Wi-Fi communication. These are all called wireless personal area network communication, which will be ranging between 5 to 10 meters. The distance will not be more, it will be 5 to 10 meters. If you're looking for better level of communication, you can go up to 100 meters, not more than that. So next type of communication will be, you'll be using this GPRS, 2G, 3G, 4G, etc. So this will be covering few kilometers, transferring the data from the personal digital assistant to a faraway device in the environment, right? So you have some other type of communications like WiMAX, right? So point-to-point communication, -7, PLC, all these things will help to the measured data to travel all around the world. So these are the different types of technologies that are helping the IoT to survive. The protocols of IoT, right? So the commonly used protocols are COAMP, called as Constrained Application Protocols, MQTT protocols, that is Message Queue Telemetry Transport Protocols, XMPP protocol, which is Extensible Messaging and Presence Protocol, right? So this will be of, these are the more popular protocols in IoT. You have 6LoWPAN, and this is a cloud service that what your IoT is going to use. These are sensors. They will be called as sensors and or the sensor owners. So they will be transferring the data from whatever they have measured in the environment to the cloud. So then we call it as sensor publishers. Then these sensor publishers, this data will be made available at various places. So they are called as extended services of the sensor data. And finally, there will be sensor data consumers. To them, it is going to reach. So this is a part of the cloud. Right? This side you have sensor data, he is a source and he is your consumer. The other end of that will be your consumer. So this is sensing as a service will be provided by the cloud. Now, what are the challenges of IoT? First is your connectivity, power management, security, and it's evolving rapidly, right? It's changing from day to day, right? So that's the main concept in IoT, right? It is not, as I had read, 2 or 3 years before. Now it has changed completely. So you have new protocols, new applications, even small sensors, they try to work with machine learning ideas. So you need not make the sensor to go and switch on the light. You can just program it to get switched on after some half an hour or whenever the light dims. dims to when the illumination is going down, then 1 mark, right? So like that, you can just, it is going to use artificial intelligence to turn on the lights, etc. So that's the range we are going on. So we have smart cities, one of the great applications of IoT. So when you look into smart cities, so what is being expected is by around 2030, roughly 66% of 5 billion people will live in urban areas. So most of the people will be moving from rural to urban areas. This not only represents a massive change in how we build and manage cities, but a significant opportunities to improve the lives of billions of people. So rising to that challenge, engineers worldwide are turning to a new technology, which is called as cyber physical systems, 5G, data analytics, etc. So searching for new approaches and solutions that will improve the city transport, water, waste management, energy usage, and a host of other infrastructure issues that underpin the operation of cities and lifestyles of urban citizens. So when you, it's a very popular project of our nation is smart cities. Now it's a, I cannot say it's a nation, it's a very popular project for the world. So build a city which is smart by itself. So people should not travel from one end of the city to the other end of the city to do their job and come back to their end to sleep, right? So everything should be available within some 10 minutes walk. So that will be the goal of smart cities. The people should be able to go to hospital, get their groceries nearby itself, and therefore they can save time, need not spend energy unnecessarily or wastefully. So that's one of the main goals in smart cities. So a smart, sustainable city is an innovative city that uses information and communication technologies and other means to improve the quality of life, efficiency of urban operations and services, competitiveness, while ensuring that it meets the needs of the present and future generations with respect to economic, social, and environmental aspects. So that's the short definition for a smart, sustainable city. So just look into this. Whatever I have told with respect to smart city is available here. You have a smart city here, right? Smart cities, smart hospitals, smart highways, smart factories. Everything in this slide, you can see they are connected with the word smart. So what does they mean by smart here is everything is green. It won't emit a lot of carbon dioxide. It will be environmental friendly, right? The traffic flow will be optimized. Amount of energy wasted from the homes will be reduced, right? The travel from one place to the other will be as less as possible. So you will be having a power supply through smart grids. So the smart grids will just measure how much amount of power required for you to do the operation and provide that much amount of power. So you have intelligent medical devices to just monitor the health of every person in this city. Right? So this is the intelligent way of living. You need not spend much of energy or much of fuel or much of cost. Right? Everything will be made smart. So what are the technologies used? Some of the critical technologies or the trends that will affect the future smart city deployments includes lower power wide area network technologies. Right, like Bluetooth low energy, Zigbee, Wi-Fi, or 3G or 4G networks. We are evolving to now 5G itself. We use LoRaWAN, which will be very much helpful for us to do data communication over some kilometers, 5 to 10 kilometers. LoRa supports data transfer over this, right? So these are the details about each technologies that have been spent over here. They are all called as low power wide area network technologies. Then you have 5 cyber physical systems and the IoT. Cyber physical systems, why we are just a physical system, we are just saying one more word towards that, that is your cyber physical system. So the physical system that is being connected to the internet is becoming a cyber physical system, and this cyber physical system should be protected from all types of vulnerabilities. So you go for cyber security, right? So cyber physical systems and the IoT defined generally as the connection and the virtual representation of physical devices to the internet. They are critical to growth of the smart cities. While many parts of the traditional city infrastructure have been monitored for many years, such as for traffic, water, electricity, this monitoring was often using proprietary technologies. The IoT is changing the situation too radically. The city infrastructure, some of which may have been traditionally monitored, is now connected using open standard protocols such as IP and HTTP, and made accessible to web technologies such as REST, right? So you are not going to be in the same way how we are monitoring now. It has been changed by means of IP and HTTP protocols, which will be made available to everyone in the open source environment itself. We have the data to be open. So another significant trend in smart city is the adaptation and exploitation of open data. The open data in the context of smart city refers to the public policies that require or encourage public agencies to release data sets and make them freely accessible. So it leverages a number of underlying technologies such as IoT, big data, big city, etc. So the goal here is transparency, but a significant subsidiary goal is to make information available to all the parties to exploit and improve the city service. Naturally, as more and more sensors are getting employed, and each sensor emits data for every millisecond, the data which is available for processing is always called as big. So you are in a situation to analyze this data. So data analytics also takes place here. So smart cities, by their very nature, generate significant amount of data in their daily operations. The trends I identified earlier, for example, for IoT, open data, are driving cities to collect many available additional significant amount of data. Some of it is static, but increasingly large part are real time. This data exhibits the classic characteristics of big data. It is a high volume, high velocity, and extremely heterogeneous in its source formats and characteristics. So this big data can, if managed and analyzed well, they will offer meaningful insight to the economic values of the city and the stakeholders, and improve the efficiency and lead to the innovative new services. So what is this smart city market segments? So how well it is moving on in the market. You can see that it is supporting governance and education, 24.6%, smart security is 13.5%, smart energy is 15.8%, smart healthcare 14.6%, smart infrastructure 13.1%, smart buildings 9.7%. So wherever you just look into it, smart city, the market segment, it has every share, right? It has every share in it. What are the applications for smart cities? We have a health of the building. To properly maintain the historical buildings of the city, we need to continuously monitor the actual conditions of each building to identify most affected areas due to the external factors. The city contains multiple structures which have different size, different ages. So it is different from one city to another, but generally most of the structures are very old. So all these city-based old structures or monuments, they need to be monitored carefully and need to be maintained properly for the future generation to take care about it. So we have environmental monitoring. All this we have already said in terms of applications of IoT. So this also comes under a part of smart city management, right? Building management is there, environmental management is there, light conditioning management, infrared or heat management should be taken care, waste management should be taken care, smart parking should be provided for smart cities, smart health should be provided, navigation systems for that's bus routes, which will use GPS as well as GIS, geographical information systems, and then give the right destination, shortest path to the destination, etc. Smart grids, automated driving systems now has become a very popular scene that there are cars which will drive by themselves, moving from one place to the other place. The user can sit simply, and the car itself is going to drive over the highways and take us to the required destinations, right? So there are many IoT platforms which will take care about this. So the significant growth of IoT deployment has led to the emergence of IoT platforms. So easy integration of new devices and services is required. Communication between the devices should be taken care. Management of different devices and communication protocols should be done. The transmission of data flow for the creation of new applications should be done. Interoperability among the components, objects, gateways, cloud and software should be taken care. The scalability of IoT infrastructure should be addressed. So we're just addressing all those things. We have few challenges in that. So main challenge for IoT or in smart cities is connection setup, congestion control, data buffering, right? So these are main goals or main issues where we know that the network is heterogeneous. You should take care about the privacy of it, to look into the authentication of it for the data has not been stolen for unwanted reasons. So when you talk about security, it's once again a big side of a new technology always. Whenever a new technology comes in, there'll be a lot of questions rising whether this technology will stand or not. Unless the technology is going to address all the issues with respect to security, definitely the technology is a successful technology. Now, security is always a major challenging for IoT to be a sustainable system, right? So if you can just, if all your devices in your home have been connected to the internet, through the internet, what will happen if they have been controlling it without your knowledge? You can just simply see that your screens are falling as if the lights are dimming and brightening by itself, right? So now this will create a host environment, let's say, ghost environment inside the host, right? So you can just overcome that. If you are not able to connect your devices securely to the internet, or only authenticated persons are not going to operate your devices, then you are going to really face a head, right? Really face a head. So security is a very most important part in IoT. So many different types of operating systems are used by the connected objects, right? So they are all known, should know, have a security standards. They may be many proprietary protocols. The architecture may be heterogeneous, but you should look into what is the security integrity, right? How it is being stored, how it is being operated, etc. should be taken care to avoid security misuse of that data that are available. Heterogeneity issues there. Sound information services and legal protections should be provided to the users. So with that, we just look into the smart city projects that have been already implemented by our country, right? So there is a smart city. This is in Coimbatore. The Coimbatore City Corporation plans to install smart benches across the city, enabling the citizen to sit under the shade of a solar tree with Wi-Fi facility. This solar tree will help to give you Wi-Fi facility. This is one of the part of a smart city project which has been implemented in Coimbatore. This is a children's park which has been already implemented in Visakhapatnam. This project is aimed at showcasing the city's strong emphasis on enhancing the social infrastructure of the city, which includes for differentially able people, the all ability park. This seeks to balance the need of the differentially abled without segregating them from the rest of the community. So it's going to have a smart park. Intelligent transport management is planned in Pune. So this will provide a technology to help in the gathering of data or intelligence. Components like vehicles, the locators, the passenger information system, delivery benefits through reduced time journey and increased journey reliability. The open space has been utilized for a positive way, right? So development of open space. This is area-based development, 550 acres of NDMC selected for retrofitting, comprises of important commercial areas like market, heritage areas, all these things, the Jantar Mantar, everything that is in there over a big space, the religious areas, the mosque, the Gurudwar, everything will be taken care by the smart city. Khan River front, this has been developed in Indore. The length of the river Khan in Indore is 21 kilometers, which is stretching about 3.9 kilometers area. The first phase of the riverfront development is being implemented from Rambagh Bridge to Krishnapur in Indore. The second phase stretch from Jawahar Marg to Kangur Ghat is planned for renovation, right? So the river has been a smart place for enjoying, right? It's a neat park is available. You can go for a walking all around. It's been developed as a part of a smart city. Public amenities in Chennai has been built up. The public bicycles has been kept at various places, right? So these are some of the official or planned smart city developments in our country. Right. So with this, I complete my session. You have any doubts, we can share our doubts.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your detailed presentation. Participants, do you have any questions? Please post it in the chat box, or you can unmute and ask.
Ma'am, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I am Dr. Vinod from New Horizon College, ma'am, from
Yes, sir.
Bangalore.
Good evening, sir.
Actually, in Bangalore, there will be BMTC. They operated, okay, recently they operated the smart vehicles.
Smart vehicles.
Even for, smart vehicles, even for public transportation. Okay, it's not like a minibus. It will be a normally 70 or 80 seating capacity buses. Almost plenty number of buses are operated under the smart city.
Smart city. So no, I just took it from a article from a newspaper. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Just to show that smart city is in place and it has been operating.
Government, yes, ma'am. But Karnataka government recently only they launched this type of for public transportation.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Why in Tamil Nadu this type of public transportation it's not operated? Because I'm basically from Coimbatore.
Okay.
But till now, our government they are not operated.
It's a government policy, sir. We don't have any say over this, but we will try to do certain good amount of technological study and push our government to saying that this will be the best way of operating buses.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So since it has been already implemented in a nearby state, definitely the state model will be taken up for studies here. Might be because of the population, it is not possible at the Tamil Nadu.
Yeah,
that's the main thing, I think so. Right, the ratio between the facilities and the amount of people is very huge here. The people are more and the facility is very less, so which cannot be operated in the planned mode as done at Karnataka. Only resources should be made at least 50% or equivalent for it can operate in a smart bus mode.
But in Karnataka, they operated only in Bangalore.
Bangalore, yeah.
Not only in the city. Only in Bangalore city.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Ma'am, actually, in IoT, IoT means actually IoT applications. Actually, mainly we are talking about IoT application. Is there any scope for research in IoT? Research means actually when we are going to do some research means and we need some parameter to compare with the existing system. Like that, we can do it. No. So in IoT and what is the research scope, ma'am? Actually. I just want to.
So there is a lot of research scope in IoT, sir, because every application has been changed because of IoT. So without IoT, how the application had been there, and with IoT, how the application could be done, right? There is a separate journal, IEEE journal of Internet of Things is available. If you want to know about most of the papers, you can just go through the papers. They are proposing for security, they are proposing for architecture, they are proposing for a small change in way the smart cloud is operating or your smart grid is operating. So the novel changes what they feel it as an idea, those things have been implemented and the results have been taken up and reported in Internet of Technology. It's an IEEE publisher, right? You can just look into that. You can find a lot of ideas in IoT, how it is going to revolutionize or how we can do the research using IoT. That's the part, right? So in practical purpose, IoT is more or less, practically it is utilized. But research-wise, that is what repeating the experiments many times and reporting the results, right? So you have, it is a cleanly available testbed for us. It can be easily implemented because the charge of the devices is very less. You can buy the modes, you can use the Contigi OS like that, do the programming and see the real-time results of the output. So that's what IoT. IoT is more user-friendly compared to network simulations using NS2 or like that, which we never see what will be the output. As the system says, we accept. But IoT will change the environment and show you the result.
Okay, ma'am. What I'm asking is actually, but the EC department and some other department is okay. But with respect to CSE, Computer Science and Engineering, is there any challenge to us in research with respect to IoT? In coding, actually in infrastructure-wise, and we are talking about IoT, no?
Yeah.
Mainly they are talking about. Is there any challenge to us? Means with respect to IT department, the information technology and CSE.
IT and information technology, you mostly fall over the transport TCP level. TCP security can just address. The cyber security is always capturing the highest place in research, right? So it takes up a larger research work there. And then you can develop apps, measure the measurable outputs, right? The equipment tracking or the food tracking or even a small anything you want to track from one place to the other place. Now there is a technology called as Bitcoins or your blockchain is available. Blockchain and IoT sitting together to try to do the traffic managements for data as well as particles, right? Like food particles or whether it's goods, any goods, you can track it using blockchain. Right, so you have to combine 2 or 3 technologies together to get your research idea here. Not just looking into only IoT, how I can going to program it. So you can use one technology and improve the existing IoT technology there.
Okay, ma'am. That's what I'm expecting actually. When IoT means actually the mixed, so everything, and we can able to with respect to and so we can do and a lot of challenges and with respect to different area.
Yeah, if you are able to combine your blockchain with IoT, you get a lot of ideas.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
One more question from the participant. Can we apply IoT in sustainable development?
Sustainability means it need to rework, right? It should give some revenue and it should continuously give you developments in that place. So it should not be destroyed, or you should have facilities to rework, right? So that's your sustainability of any given technology. Sustainability you want to achieve, you have to go ahead with doing research with respect to how you're utilizing your output back to your input. So if without IoT, your system had been performing at some level, with IoT, you would have changed that system performance. So why you are changing, you have to achieve, you would have achieved some amount of performance improvement. So that improvement should be sustainable, means you need to continually use that improved version as a feedback and try to run the entire environment in a right direction. So this will give you a sustainable way of working in IoT environment. So you may use your smart cycles. This is smart cycles is one IoT project where it is going to reduce the carbon dioxide emission in your environment as well as improve the health of the citizens. But when you, every time when you just, if you just invest over smart cycles, buying the cycles and leaving off, you cannot have a sustainability. So after some, a week or like that, the cycles may worn out. So you need to reinvest your amount back to the cycles to make it fit to run the show once again. So how to reinvest? You have to collect some money from the users. So you are using the pay and use format there. So this pay and use format will give you some revenue back to maintain the system properly. So you need to plan with management in such a way that the revenue will help you to maintain the system properly. So this one small example where I told you about your smart city project, smart cycle project. So if just implementation is not enough, need to be sustainable means it should give a feedback. And those feedback can be reused inside the project to maintain it continuously. I have answered your question, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Another question from the participant.
Yes.
augmented reality or virtual reality technology can be used in IoT?
So these are augmented reality or virtual reality when you look into, right? They are mostly used in gaming aspects now, right? These it's an added version to your real situations, or we call it as virtual reality in the sense all the objects are there and you're controlling those objects virtually. So you play, mostly we try to play games and enjoy the real-time environment being seen at the through our eyes directly, right? So that's how we just plan your augmented reality or virtual reality. When you want to apply that to our IoT network, it depends upon the application which we want. So if for agriculture, we want to use this augmented reality or virtual reality. So we are predicting what will happen if certain things are going to happen, to be worst affecting the plants. So this will say how the plants will be if a type of disease had been affected. So you can look through virtual reality and you can estimate what is the negative effects of that, and therefore you can overcome those things, right? I'm not much expertise in augmented or virtual reality. According to my understanding, I feel that you can use this as a predictive tool to the IoT situations now, right? So that's how you can use your virtual realities.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for patiently answered all our queries.
No, just ask your question. Your queries are making me think how well we can do the projects in IoTs. So thanks for the opportunities. Questions are always encouraging in the sense we might have not thought in that direction. So out of the, you have been from various other situations where you thought of IoT in that direction. I might be working in IoT in my own direction. So because of your questions, my tuning has been changed. It has added some weightage to my understanding also. So thank you. Thank you all for your patient listening for my answers. Thank you.
Ma'am, one more.
Yeah, ma'am.
One participant has asked.
Yeah.
Compared to traditional network, IoT networks have open nature. So it is easily, I mean, the attackers can easily target that.
Yeah, that's why cybersecurity is having upper hand.
Issues.
Yeah, that's why cybersecurity is having higher hand in research with respect to IoT. So every device you're going to give some IP address and connect it to the web, right? And you can easily control those machines sitting at any place in the world. So for that, you need to add on some authentication. Only these persons, or time to live. Only when that environment has been controlled, then you're going to come out of the network. Like time to live fields can be added after, till the success of the application is completed, you can come out, or it can be connected only after some time instance. So like that, few cyber issues or cyber security issues, controlling protocols will help us make your IoT different from that of open networks that are already available. Yeah.
I think ma'am has answered. Ma'am had given very, brief idea about what is IoT, different examples with different applications of IoT, and what are the challenges and security issues, and also the several smart city projects. I think ma'am had covered extensively the introduction to IoT session. Hope the participants would have found it very useful. And if you have some more questions also, you can post.
Done with the questions. And thank you so much, Bhagyaveni ma'am, for.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am. Really very extensive, outlook.
No, I had few more slides. I didn't append it purposefully because what all projects we have done in IoT, I had few slides. But I thought the time limit will not support us, so it just came out.
Okay.
So few IoT in irrigation, IoT in healthcare, and IoT for base station monitoring, all those things, whatever we have done in PG and UG projects, right? Few results have been there.
Okay.
Base station monitoring, it is my personal question, ma'am. Base
Yeah, ma'am.
station monitoring, how can you throw some light on that? How you had done?
How I have done now?
Oh yeah, your team.
My team, base station monitoring. So we had a interconnect with the BSNL, right, at Meenambakam, where we were able to access one base station. So around the base station, we just use certain sensors for temperature to monitor. The base station is running using the diesel should be there, right? So a genset had been there. So the amount of fluid inside that, fluid monitoring that had been done, temperature monitoring, humidity monitoring, rain monitoring system, right? For all those things, we have got the sensors have been placed over that control room, right? And we used MQTT protocols, capture the data and forward it to our system.
Okay.
So in the system, we just saw the outputs, how it has been responding to. And we also studied extensively on RSSI, received signal strength. And we just came to a conclusion that the RSSI will, why we need to move from one place to the other to get a good RSSI, right? So if the moving around the base station itself, we got different types of RSSI. So which we say that if you are standing at this place, you may have a better RSSI compared to which place you have been extending the call. So if a base station would be covering some coverage area, from in that coverage area, we used to move around that place and take RSSI signal measurements, which can be done using our mobile phone itself. So what is the strength of RSI at the various places covered by this base station? So like that database had been collected. So if a person is trying to being at the cell edge or very at a shadow place of that base station, he is trying to initiate a call, and SMS will be sent to him to say that you have to move some 5 meters north to have a better coverage. So, or 5 to 10 steps you have to move ahead. Like that, some SMS message had been initiated and sent to him, for he had a better signal experience. So these are all practical issues, but we have not published those issues. It's only at the project level. So we try to monitor the base station with respect to fuel, with respect to fire, temperature, etc. Hope you got it, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah,
Base station monitoring. Yeah. Fully detailed study of the base station. I think.
Yeah, base station RSSI signal is the main idea for us.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am, for sharing your expertise with us.
We also find difficult in publishing papers, ma'am, in this field. One great negative point where though we talk that it is possible, we can do a lot of things. Only thing is we can easily see the output. We will be satisfied with seeing the outputs. But publishing it is a real challenge.
Showing the output in paper is difficult.
Yeah.
This IoT.
Yeah.
I had also seen that.
Yeah.
To how to put the results in the paper, that you can practically view that and you can see the output.
Can see the output, or you can control the environment.
Yes.
Whatever we have thought, we would have got implemented and we'll be happy with that. But the getting it published is a really hectic,
difficult task.
Difficult task.
But when we are publishing the paper in IoT, we have to look into that medical diagnosis journals, ma'am. Then it is easy to publish. For example, if we take elsewhere, measurements, International Journal of Confederation is there. So usually they are looking into IoT technologies they want.
Oh, very good, sir. International Journal of Measurements, sir?
Measurements, ma'am. It is 3.86 impact factor.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, elsewhere. And also if we write the title in terms of IoT, and also we have to mention some of the technical words in that paper.
Okay.
Related to smart system, then easily we will get acceptance in that journal.
Okay, very good.
Very good input.
Good, sir. Good information, sir.
Participants, please do fill the feedback form if it is not filled. Yeah. If there are no other queries, I think we can wind up, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for sparing your time with us.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Bhagyaveni, ma'am. Really.
Thank you,
It was a
ma'am.
wonderful session. And that too,
Yes.
you are sparing your time in the night.
Evening sessions.
Yeah, evening session. I know that for many people, right? But anyway, like they could, as our dean also was saying, right? This is a time they can also, I mean, use it for their own purpose, and they can learn few new things. So that way it is going to be beneficial for them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, kindly share your presentation, ma'am, later.
Yeah, I'll share, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll send it to the mail.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all the best for the participants.
Yes. Yeah, Akshay?
Sure, sir. Yes. Well begin is half done. As per the words of Aristotle, ma'am, you have given a detailed introduction to IoT, which inspires them to take this FTP in a successful manner. Thank you so much, ma'am.